All right, hello. It is Dr. Chelle. Happy whatever day of the week it is. We are focusing on Unit 4, Lesson 9 from Khan Academy. Remember, the whole point of my Dr. Test Prep YouTube channel is to help you prepare for the PSAT and SAT by learning how to use the Desmos calculator as much as possible. So all of my questions that I created align with what is on Khan Academy. So we are doing, like I said, Unit 4, Lesson 9 on radical, rational, and absolute value equations, which coincidentally, absolute value doesn't come up in this unit. If you have bought my book, we are on page 74. If you have not bought my book, no worries. But if you want it, the link's in the description. It's $14.95 on Amazon. Open up the Desmos calculator, click Choose Assessment, and let's hit College Board. All right, so what I love about this is it's so easy. That's what I love about it. This part of the unit, it's like, really, do you know how to interpret the calculator? That's literally what this whole part is. So we're going to start off by doing the square root. You can also put the binomial for like the x plus 5 in parentheses and raise it to the 1/2 power. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to click the square root button. Make sure you use the arrow key to get out of the square root. And then we have equals 3. Now notice, because that function, or the square root of x plus 5, equals a number, it solves it for you. Like the answer is 4. If that's not the easiest problem on the face of the earth, I don't know what is. Now, if you had this problem on Khan Academy, this is what the work would have been. Like, it still would have been fine, but you would have had to square both sides. And get 9, and then subtract 5 from both sides and get 4. And if you watch one of the videos I made this morning at like 4 something, I made a mistake in my computation. I added instead of subtracting. I'm like, wait, that doesn't look right. So like, we make mistakes. That's why relying on the calculator is super important. All right, this next one, and it's not just relying on the calculator, it's using the calculator to check your work. So if you want to do it by hand, you great, but still check your work. All right, for which value of x is the expression undefined? So here we've got 2 over x plus 4. Hopefully you just know that it's going to be -4 because we can't have 0 in the denominator. That would make us have a sad face. So this is the answer. If you didn't know that, look what happens when I graph it. 2 divided by x plus 4 in the denominator. And if you can tell, the graph never crosses -4, like there's an asymptote there. Here's another way that you could do it using the slider function, because y'all know how much I love slider. So what I'm going to do is, instead of x, pick any other letter besides x or y. We often use a in my videos. And then notice how I have an answer 0.4, right? If a is 1. I'm going to start at the bottom and work up. If a equals 4, I get 0.25. If a equals 2, I get a fraction 1/3. If a equals -2, I get 1. Watch what happens when I say if a equals -4. It literally gives you the word undefined. Like, Desmos tells you the answer. So you can either graph it and figure out where the asymptote is, or you can use my favorite tool called the slider feature and get the answer that way. Okay. All right, I'm going to X these out, hit the home button to get my calculator square. What is the solution to the following equation? 20 equals 220 divided by x. You could multiply both sides by x, divide both sides by 20, or say it with me, type it in the Desmos calculator, 220 divided by x. And you're like, Doc, I don't see my answer. Like, what's going on? Yeah, we know that there is an answer because this is purple. All you got to do is scroll out, and here's my answer right here. And then you can scroll back in and see that the answer is clearly 11. And if you wanted to check your work, I mean, because remember, on the SAT, they're not going to be like, show your work. What you could do also is you could just do 220 divided by 11 and see if you get 20. Okay. All right. Oh, we're done. This is the end of this video. Come back for the next one where we're going to do the harder examples, which using the Desmos calculator is not very hard, but they're still harder. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.